Hello, welcome to Access Paranormal. Tonight we've travelled all the way to Rochdale to meet up with really good friends of ours who we haven't seen for a very long time, and that's Junior Paranormal Events.
Yes.
We always miss the events off at the end there. And we've got Finley, Aubrey, Michael and Gemma. Brilliant to see you again, but before we started recording this, Marie forgot who it was.
I was going like that for her to introduce herself, which is next to me.
Yeah. Do you believe that, Michael?
No.
No,
Well, she'd gone round everybody else's name and then gone to Gemma and Scott.
I really think what she done is she went round then to practice. And but it's good to see you again. We haven't seen you for a while now, have we?
No.
And I'm going to start off really because when we first done an interview with you, you were just getting going then, or you were just getting into it and that. Yeah. And now you've escalated so far. It's been fantastic. And I look at Finley and Aubrey, and last time I saw them, they were in nappies. I mean, I don't know whether they still are, but I can't believe how
I know.
I don't know what he's eating, but he's like taller than me now.
I know. He's been in a grow bag, definitely.
Unbelievable. And Aubrey's gone quiet. I can't believe it.
She'll come out of her shell.
Yeah, so when you first started off, what's it like now to when you first started off? The experiences you've had. What's it like as from where you started to where you are now? What's
so when we
progressed? That's the word.
When we first met you guys, it was at Mill Street Barracks, sort of. It's about 18 months ago.
It would be, yeah. About that, I think, isn't it?
Yeah, because then you guys came for our first birthday.
We did,
yes.
So you've been going about, is it coming up to 3 years?
Yeah, so we're in our third year, so our next birthday will be our third year. So when we first met you, we'd just done our first year of running Junior Paranormal, and it felt like a struggle. It felt like a struggle getting access to venues, didn't it?
Yes.
Getting people to take us seriously in terms of what we were trying to do. Filling up events was hard as well in terms of getting our name out there. But now we've been so fortunate because this year we've pretty much sold out. There's only 3 events this year that we didn't sell out, and that was because 2 of them are in Scotland, which is new territory for us, and Scotland's notorious for being difficult to sell tickets for. And the other one was Essex, and that's a new territory for us as well. But with both of those, it wasn't like vastly short. It was like two tickets left, sort of thing. But everything else this year we've completely sold out of, but fast. And then also we've started to release dates for next year, and they've started going.
That is brilliant.
So the other thing as well is we've now got venues who come to us and say, do you want to come and host an event here? Whereas before we were like, please can we come to you?
So it's changed around,
It really has.
which is brilliant.
Full circle.
Yeah. And then when we look back, when we first start, we were looking at events, and we were looking at like 3 or 4 months in advance and being right, these are the events we need to be focusing on. And now we're looking 12 months.
12, 18
plus
months.
in advance for
brilliant.
getting events and getting into places because of just the ability of being able to deliver an event now, but people wanting to come on an event, and it just but there's always going to be one.
She forgets the name and she forgets to turn the phone off. We won't mention Marie's name because it's not nice, is it?
It is on flight mode, got me alarm.
I think the one thing is I found it quite, I think this is like surreal.
It's very surreal.
That it seems to, we're at quite a point where we're doing a lot more than what we ever thought we would be doing. And we're at a point where we now feel like we need to try giving more because we're filling out our events.
And did you expect that to happen, or did you just think you'd plod along? And
We just thought we were just going to plod along, in all honesty.
Yeah, as I say, when we started it for these two.
Yeah.
And
Just not anybody else is a bonus.
Yeah.
Mm.
And if we can bring that, if we can take them to unique places and different places and everything, I'm going to move that because I'll mess with it. And then it would be a good experience for them to understand what we've done. And now it's like we're getting so many new people coming on events. Like the one we did in Essex, everybody was new. Nobody'd ever been on our events.
Yeah.
And it was a complete new territory for us. And the fact that we could come out of that and we both felt that we'd given a really good event to these juniors and they did all seem to enjoy it. For us, we were just talking about that the other week, how that we felt that was a huge step. Because it was well out of our comfort zone of not being comfortable, having guests who've been there before, things like that.
Because you sort of, when you're in those initial stages of doing something, you get in your little comfort zone and it's, right, we've got Champness Hall, let's focus on here, and okay, let's branch out and do something else in Greater Manchester, and you tend to stay in your local area because you feel more comfortable and it's about building up your reputation, isn't it? So that was a massive deal. So from just focusing around Greater Manchester to this year, as of the end of September, we'll have done 2 events in Scotland and 2 events in Wales. We've done Essex, we've done Richardfield, we've done all sorts of things. But bigger than that, really, is how we're starting to be more welcoming in the paranormal community. So that for us initially started with Paul Stevenson of Haunted Magazine because he reached out to me in sort of March last year and said, do you want to write for us? And I was like, right, okay. So we started writing for him and Andy, and because of that, that's then led to other writing opportunities that have come through with Haunted Attic and Spooky Isles, and then that's connected us with Neil Packer at the Haunted Antiques and Paranormal Research Centre, who runs the Parameet, and then he's connected more with us in terms of inviting us to present at the Parameet, which was massive for us. And we were actually really scared about going into that, weren't we? Because we were like, who are we to stand up on that stage and deliver a speech to people like Barry John, Neil Storey, Hazel Ford, all these big names that are in the paranormal. Who are we to stand up there and take up that space and speak about what we do? And it was terrifying. It was
really daunting because we're stood up there, and although we didn't want to, we in no way did we want to come across as being preachy, this is how it needs to be done. We knew we had to give a message of what we feel is the right way to do this. Yeah. And we are not here to stop anybody else from doing it, but you need to put the children first.
Yes, definitely.
And that was our message that we did try to get across, and I do believe we did get it across. And I don't know whether I'm jumping ahead, but when we finished our speech and we stepped off stage, we were swamped by
all these people
wanted to come and talk to us and tell us.
But that's because of the work you've done.
Yeah, and it was just, that was even more surreal, I think, because we'd watched people talk before and people get applauded, but the fact that we felt like we were, like, people wanted to ask us more and...
The whole of the time we were up there, so Michael and I stood on the stage with this microphone and we're passing this microphone backwards and forwards, and then Aubrey came up and said a little bit, didn't you? Olivia came up and said her bit, and Harrison came up. So we had 3 junior ambassadors who came and were part of that presentation, which was huge for you guys, wasn't it? Yeah. And who did you speak about?
Wasn't it Mary?
It was our Mary here, wasn't it?
Yeah.
So our Mary's picture got shown. But as I'm standing there and I'm presenting, this young girl caught my eye. And every time I clicked a new picture, she was like, this clapping hands. And then another one, and she was like, out of her seat. And then when we'd finished, she ran across the room to come and talk to us. And then her grown-ups who were with her were like, she's been through a really tough time recently. We brought her here because we thought this is what she likes, and to see that look on her face and hearing you guys talk about what you do, I think you've got a new junior here.
Yes.
And then we came away, and within a couple of that, literally as we're driving home, a grown-ups are messaging me, can we book on this event, can we book on that event?
So
fabulous.
fantastic, yeah.
And it was really lovely. And then it gave us the opportunity to connect with other people in the paranormal community. So the girls at To Investigate we've connected with, I don't know if you've heard of them, they're really lovely, really, really lovely. Barry John, we're going to be doing some bits with. Just before you guys came, we got off the phone with Neil Story, who's going to be doing some things with us.
Wow.
Richard Felix, it's just, and then...
It's funny, isn't it, when you do something like that, how people what's the word, is it like... It's like a magnet, isn't it? They come to you straight away, and that's fantastic because
that's more when you.
I mean, when we first met you, it was new to you in one way.
Yeah, it still was.
But
still apologising for being there in a way.
You should never apologise for being successful, should you? Really, because I mean, what you've done is fantastic. It's because there's nothing for children like that.
No.
There's no. I mean, you've had Marla on it. They came along. They loved it. They absolutely loved it because they were with youngsters, and you know, when you see kids doing it and enjoying it, it's fantastic because why shouldn't they? I know when I first heard it, kids on paranormal, oh my god!
But the thing is, stood by you from the beginning.
The thing was, it's because I've thought I've never heard of kids on paranormal investigations. But once I came with this, and I thought, I get it. I get it because you weren't doing the Ouija board, you weren't doing this. Once I learned what you were doing, I thought
that's why I was saying the restrictions.
I do remember you saying that to me after we spent our anniversary. You come up for our birthday, and you came to me at the end of it, and you went, "I understand what you do now."
And that's where. And I held my hand up for that, and I remember saying I made the mistake of judging before I shouldn't have done, and I don't judge anymore because that taught me a lesson. And people out there should understand that kids have got as much right to do what we're doing, but on a lower scale. Once they get to 18, you can't argue with them anyway,
but
can you?
Learn some history and everything about places and all stuff like that as well, doesn't it?
Can I ask Finley and Aubrey a question? Is you've been doing the paranormal now for coming up to 3 years, isn't it?
A little bit more than that, actually.
How much has it changed for you two? Whichever one wants to answer first is, how much has it changed for you both from when you first started to what it is now?
Like overall? Or, it's changed quite a lot for me because
because you're out of nappies?
That's all about nappies. Because a lot, like, it's happened to me personally where I've had teachers like to me, "Oh, what are you doing this week?" And I'm going to be like, "I'm gone paranormal investigating." And my head of year in year 10 was like, I want to know about it, but I feel like I'm too scared to come and do this. And I'm like...
And what about your friends?
They don't care, so...
You got used to it, yeah. What about you, Aubrey?
I've only got like obsessed with it, like how usually like I started getting like, because like my friends found out about it and they got dead into it, and and also I'm kind of getting obsessed with haunted dolls now.
Do you want to give a shout out to Miss Sophia?
Oh yeah, so my friend Sophia, she's like, ever since she found out about us, she was like, she started collecting haunted dolls.
Your friend Sophia started.
Sophia,
So and like equipment and like going, and she said that at one point she went to a haunted graveyard.
With the dolls.
No, just with loads of equipment. And she said that she's been doing investigations in a house.
Oh, wow. Brilliant.
And who's this? Is this your friend or was it a teacher?
It's a friend.
A friend, right, okay.
Hi,
I thought you meant your teacher.
But the torch is going off just there.
So
why it goes off when you talk?
You've got like a little bond with Sophia because of the paranormal, haven't you? Yeah, and it's really cute because they compare stuff that they've been up to.
That's good.
And when Aubrey's been up here over the summer, she'll get pieces of kit out and she'll be on like FaceTiming Sophia, like, right, let's go to the little investigation. And it's really lovely.
So it's good, the socialising part of it. It really does. It gets you all together, doesn't it? Same interests and everything like that.
I think the only, I don't want to say downside, but it kind of is that we want to encourage other people to do stuff with juniors, but we've had a couple of large groups, shall we say, and we're not going to name who they are, who have tried to copy what we do, but do it for financial gain rather than the actual quality of experience for the juniors. And that's resulted in said people directly taking pictures and content off our website.
Oh no, that's out of order.
And taking our words. We actually had one group who were using our name.
What, Junior Paranormal Events? They were using it.
Oh my goodness, that shows you how good you are.
Yeah, so it was. They were using. They weren't using it as the they were using it as, we are running Junior Paranormal Events.
So I found out because somebody messaged me and said, I didn't know you were working in collaboration with this particular group. And I said, we're not. What makes you think that? Oh, they're using your name on their website. So then I got in touch and I got my get it down now because that's our name. And it took me a while to get them to do it, but they have done it now.
They have done it now, haven't they? Yeah.
But you find now in the paranormal world, there's the good side and there's the not so good side.
Yeah.
And I always try and steer all the time. I keep away from the bad side.
Oh, no. It's just, it seems to come and find you sometimes.
Oh,
you know?
You don't want it, but it does come. Raise its ugly head, as they say.
Yeah.
So obviously we still get stuff through Facebook where people complain, but we've started role reversing.
So we post trolls, don't we?
We post the troll stuff.
The troll comments.
But then we also give them. You also compliment them back, telling them love
I always
and light.
say love and light.
Get
those up.
But the irony is, whenever we go on the events and we make light of what people have said, the juniors are so up for what?
So, to give you an example, what you're doing is really irresponsible. Okay, fine, that's not the first time I've heard that, but crack on. Why don't you just find a haunted barn, get a Ouija board, throw the kids in there and let Satan have his way with them?
Oh my God.
No, that's what they said.
Oh my God.
So I went back and said, I put it on our Facebook page. I didn't put the lady's name. I put the comment and I put like, this is how I wanted to respond to it, and I put something under it like, I'm so sorry we've riled you up, but I tell you what, if you do have a haunted barn, can you let us know, because we've got a whole bunch of juniors that would love to go in a haunted barn.
And they're experienced.
Because we were at Eden Camp and we went, just want to ask you juniors, if we can find a really haunted barn and it's supposed to be quite dark and there's a Ouija board, all the hands jumped up and it's like, it's just some things that we get. We make a lot of light of stuff.
Yeah, there's a lot of...
We can't be like, I think that is one thing we really have learned from, because sometimes we did take it to heart early on.
Yeah.
Well, because you're putting yourselves out there, aren't you? You're vulnerable when you put yourselves out there and you're doing something different, and you're trying to challenge how things are done. It automatically puts a target on your back, really. It's just learning how you cope with that. But now we have a giggle of it, and when we do get something through, I don't name who it is, obviously, but I'll put there, this is a summary of what we've had through, what do you think? And everything's just like, okay.
It's in a way, it's immature and jealousy at the same time with them, you know.
Or not understanding.
If they came along and seen how you were doing it, instead of being behind the keyboard and doing like that, come and try it with Junior Paranormal, and you'll realise that
I'm not going to name him because I'm not giving him any airtime, but anybody who's listening to this in the paranormal community will know exactly who it is. There is a said individual who likes to provoke.
Oh.
Yeah, I'm sorry about that.
Jamie, I'll tell you his name after we're not recording.
Yeah,
You probably know
we
who
won't
it
put
is.
it out. Yeah.
After we went on the para-meet, he honed in on us and started posting a load of... He's never met us.
Okay.
He's never taken the time to get to understand what we do. He just goes to people for a reaction. And then the second people respond to him, he comes back with, you can't do that, I've got mental health problems. And he's notorious for doing that. Well, what he did do is he was trashing us on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, and he's never been on an event, and he purposely went out of his way to go on our Facebook page and leave a unrecommend 0 rating thing on our reviews, knowing that we can't get it off, because if you take that off, all your reviews have to come off, knowing purposely it was going to drop our rating on our reviews on our Facebook page.
But that's just, I mean, that happens. We've all been through that, and the best thing to do is just ignore them. Solely ignore them.
God bless our boo crew. They were riling, and I had to message them. Hello.
I heard that over there.
Yeah, really.
Besides me burping, by the way.
Yeah, no, it's over there. Hi. You coming out to see? Are we not talking to you? You're having a tantrum.
Probably Lucy.
Probably is. We had to rein our grown-ups back and say, please do not engage. It's just going to make it worse. But they were riling, weren't they?
The more you engage with them, they've got your attention.
Yeah, no.
If you ignore them,
oxygen.
I've learned from that. I think the sad part is in the paranormal world that seems to happen to
It does happen, doesn't it?
It's like you say, when you first started off, that probably hurt you, but because you've grown into the paranormal, you realise that they're just somebody sitting in their computer room, bored.
Probably in the mum's basement.
Yeah. Do you know what I would love now?
What?
Let's turn this around and let's find out what's actually happened on your investigations.
Okay.
So tell us of some things that's been paranormal, or maybe you can't explain, or maybe you've debunked. If you all want to tell a little story, that's fine, but what have you got?
Well,
Are you going?
I'm just...
Do you want me to start?
Yeah.
Okay.
Right, so we started, Michael and I are trustees of Champness Hall now, which means we're in charge. We're part of the small team of 4 or 5 of us that are in charge of the building, which means that we're here a lot. And things have started happening more and more since then. And it's like our otherworldly friends in the building like to keep you on your toes. So I'll give my example of when I was here with Ali, and you can do the other one if you want. So me and my lovely co-trustee Alison were here 1:30 in the morning one night. There'd been a 90s rave night on, and the crew, it took them ages to get the stage down and whatnot. And you guys have been in the auditorium before, you know how big it is.
Yes.
They'd left, it's 1:30 in the morning, and Ali and I had to go into the auditorium because they'd left the lights on. So to switch the lights on, you've got to go up the steps on top of the stage and flick them off. So I went up there and flicked them off. Ali's at the bottom and she's picking some rubbish up. Then I noticed the lights behind the stage were on, so I went and I flicked those off. And as I'm walking round, it's deathly quiet, and we heard this coming from the seats above us.
Yeah.
So we looked at each other, swear word was that.
Yeah.
And we went, oh, it just must be the light settling, it's alright. So Ali carried on with picking up stuff, and then it did it again, 3 slow claps.
Really clear.
Clear as day. And we looked at each other and we went, that's not the lights, no, it's time to go. So as we're walking towards the back, we couldn't get the door open. And then it does it again 3 times. So we're like, nah, no. We got out the door and we're fumbling trying to lock the door, and it had followed us out, and it did it right behind us in the corridor. like that right
Full
next
time.
to us.
And you
And
had
we-
nothing to record it.
No, and we shot out of the building.
thought you
And
were
we're
gonna say-
like, no,
I thought you were going to say something else then.
that as well. But we went, nah, no, like, bye. But it was like, at one point, when it happened the second time, Ali went, Gemma, I think there's somebody up there on the balcony shining your torch. And I went, I'm not shining my torch up there. I don't want to see who's passively aggressively slapping us. But yeah, that was a whoa moment. I was like, wow. Yeah, so that's my
And that was here?
That was here, yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, we get a lot of things in this building.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, that's mine.
And what was yours, Michael?
So mine wasn't here. Mine was, it turned into a little mini experiment at Jedburgh Jail.
Oh, right, yeah.
So it was getting towards the end of the night and we were in the back cell block, which is it's not accessible to the public, but they allow it to be open. And we're upstairs and I've got a group of, it was quite a small group of us, but there was 3 juniors upstairs.
Yeah.
And Gemma had her group, and I think there was 4 juniors with you, and obviously they're adults.
Yeah.
So there was this one cell, and this one of the juniors, she says, I want to go in this cell. And she went in with her mum and dad, and after about 20 seconds, she's like, I can't be in that cell. And I'm like, oh, okay, well, there's other cells if you want to go in them. So she went in the other cell and I said to her about a couple of minutes later, I said, how are you feeling? She said, I feel fine now. And I went, do you mind me asking what you felt? And she said, I felt something on my chest, as if a bit of tightening on my chest. And I went, oh, okay. And I said to Mum and Dad, did you feel anything? Like, no, it's a small room, but we didn't feel anything like that. So I went, right, okay. One of the other juniors who was in one of the other cells, who hadn't heard our conversation, I said to him, and it was Harrison, I said, Harrison, you feel a lot. Do me a favour, go in that cell for 30 seconds, and I want you to tell me what you feel.
Yeah.
And he went in, and 30 seconds later he come out and he went, pointing to his chest, and I was like, okay, it's a bit weird, but there can be a coincidence. It's quite easy for someone to point. So I radioed down to Gemma and I said, Gemma, have you got any willing juniors who want to come upstairs and do an experiment? And Olivia was the first one running up the stairs, I think, once she'd come up the stairs. Yeah, I'll do it. I said, well, go in that room, 30 seconds, and then I want you to come out and tell me what you're feeling. She went in the room, so she's not been anywhere near to know what we were doing, so there was no... She came out and she went, said, how you feel? She went, I feel funny, but I feel funny like heart, chest area.
3.
Gemma, can you send up another? So Gemma sent up one of the other guests. She come up, she went in the room. Same thing, came out, pointed to her chest. She'd only been in 30 seconds. They'd only been in 30 seconds. Next thing, Aubrey comes up. Obviously a bit nervous, but goes in. Everybody's like, how are you feeling? Are you feeling? Yeah, I'm feeling like... She pointed to her chest.
That's 5 people.
And 5 people. And then one of the other juniors come up at the end, but obviously by then everybody was like, it felt like peer pressure, but she'd already just been freaked out, I think, a few minutes, about 5-10 minutes earlier, and she by someone else. But then Gemma went in the room for 30 seconds and didn't feel anything.
No, I didn't.
So it was like only the children were feeling.
Did you ever find out what was in that cell?
No. When we originally spoke to Pauline, who was one of the custodians who worked there, she never mentioned this cell as being anything. She mentioned another cell, but never this cell. But it was quite towards the end of the night, so there wasn't any investigating we could do, other than the fact that I'd created a mini experiment that, other than saying, there is a possibility that 5 children can say, 5 juniors can say the chest.
The chest, yeah.
But that possibility diminishes a lot every single time.
Now, Michael, you've always been the sceptical one of the whole group. You've always been the one that says, I'm not sure now.
Debunk, check it all out.
Yeah, so how do you feel now? Because obviously you've gone from a beginner to now, you know, you were very sceptical. Are you now a believer in what the paranormal?
I am still sceptical. I still put my hand up. It even happened last week when Richard Felix asked, is there anybody sceptical? My hand still goes up.
Yeah.
Yes, I will admit there was stuff that I can't explain, but sometimes I put that on the basis of I might not know enough about what's happening to understand exactly what it is. But the funny thing is, Gemma always says, I'm the one who's going to want the full body apparition stood in front of me.
That's me, isn't it?
And almost having a conversation with them before I go, I think I might believe it.
Now, Aubrey, tell us one of your experiences.
I'm still having a quick little think of it.
Should we go on to Finley?
Yeah.
I can't. Can I just say though?
Yeah.
I can't believe how quiet you are.
Yeah.
Because last time you chatted to us, we couldn't get a word in.
She's had a very busy week.
Oh.
Yeah, a few weeks. I think it's caught up with you, hasn't it? Yeah.
Can you do more often?
No, I missed it.
So we'll go to Finley while you're thinking.
What
So
scary moments have you had or what you can't explain?
I've had loads, especially when I was here during my work experience here,
Yeah.
when I'd be coming in and out of the actual trustee office on the other side of the building, coming in and out where the spooky corridor is and seeing stuff, hearing stuff, everything.
Healy Dell. Eliza.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, there you go.
So,
How about that one?
I don't remember this too.
You were there next to me in the basement.
I was round the other side, I remember. So we had the REM bear, K2 and a torch.
right.
And we put them all on this, was it sort of shelf thing?
Okay.
And we were like, torch was off at first. Eliza, can you turn the torch on?
Yeah.
Torch goes on, bear goes off, K2 goes off.
Right,
Right.
brilliant. Yeah.
And it's a REM bear where it's like touch activated, so you have to go really close
Oh,
to
Remember,
it.
you're
And
saying.
it never
Yeah,
goes
REM bear.
off. It never goes off. And
Right.
it did it repeatedly, didn't it?
So you have to actually touch that particular one, not just next to it. Is that what you
Yeah,
mean?
yeah. It never
So
goes
that's
off.
yeah.
and how do you feel you've changed from when you first started to now? Do you feel like you're getting to a really good experienced person now?
I'm like half skeptic, half believer sort of thing.
Like your dad?
Yeah.
No, he's full skeptic.
Full
Yeah.
How can you be half skeptic?
Well,
Yeah.
because I do computing studies for GCSE.
Mm-hmm.
Did you hear that?
What?
Yeah.
What was
I
it?
did. It was like a scream.
Did you not
Oh,
hear
I
the
thought there was
whistle?
something going across. I looked up.
Sorry, Finley, before you answer that, can I ask, is there an entrance near here, the main entrance?
No, the main
No.
entrance is there.
Because
Oh, is it so?
I've heard people talking down there, but I thought there was people
No, I just
outside the
heard
door or
just heard a
something.
whistle.
There is an office right.
We're the only
Yeah.
ones on this
But
floor.
no, yeah.
But there's nobody else in the building at
No,
all.
No
just
one else
us.
in the building.
Okay, because I've been ignoring it because I thought it was somebody talking outside.
There's
But you're
obviously-
saying the entrance is over there.
The opposite side.
Yeah, it's down there.
And we're
okay.
two floors up.
Yeah, I'm thinking we're on the
That's the way-
first
did
floor.
you
I
hear
just
that
remember we
whistle?
went up on the lift, didn't we?
I thought it was a scream.
I didn't know.
Oh, I didn't know.
Downstairs, but
Sorry, I forgot
We
that we
haven't,
came
yeah.
up in the lift, didn't
No,
we?
we're the
Yeah.
only ones in
Yeah.
the building.
Right, because I've heard talking and I'm thinking, oh, the main entrance is just there.
No.
But I just remember we came up in the lift.
Yeah.
Mm.
So the actual
Just
entrance
didn't
that you
register,
came in is right the way over the other side of the building. This is the front of the building where you can get in when the shutters are up. but we're the only ones in the building. But that was a whistle. I heard it sounded like a whistle. Did you hear that?
No, I just thought
I
of
didn't hear the
something
whistle.
going across,
But
I don't know what cars go through the area.
I've heard talking in the distance, but I thought, oh, we're near the main entrance, but I forgot we're up and up.
Yeah.
So
I keep hearing little bits, but I'm like, I'll just ignore them until someone
Did
notices.
you hear the whistle?
I thought it was a scream, but it did sound like a whistle.
The only place you'd hear a whistle is if the windows are slightly open, and that's the main, that's Drake Street. So when you came in, Drake Street runs down where the trams run down here. Trams aren't running at the moment, just to let you know. So there's definitely no trams running. And then the only other people who can be in potentially are the church.
I wonder if it was here. But then you would have heard it.
No, I would have heard it. I didn't hear anything.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, there's...
I keep on realising that you keep on staring at the dolls.
Was that a whistle?
That was me.
That was what was that about being a skeptic?
Yeah, but then I got the
No,
answer.
but you've got to,
No, but I did hear like a couple of people talking, like young people, and I thought, oh, that'll be.
Do you think we could
the main
hear
entrance.
something from here if they were talking?
The only way how you would is
We're too high up.
unless I'd have to go for a little walk to see if they were in.
Yeah.
That's the only way how I could check if the church are in and they've not turned the light on the floor
No,
below.
they always have the light.
But they always have the lights
Right,
on.
okay.
They're in and the
Yeah.
lights. You can see the light through the floor here.
Yeah.
Right.
So I
So
would
it's
say
not really-
nobody's in because you'd hear the door go as
Right.
well.
Yeah, the door. You can hear the door.
You have to force the door open.
Well, that was interesting, wasn't it? So you were saying, Finley, or can you remember what you were saying?
I remember what I'm saying, how I'm like half skeptic, half believer, and how I've chosen computing. And like, after studying it for a bit, it's made me think on how the torches can be easily faked. But it's just using little bits of devices just to switch things on and off.
Oh, right.
See, I know with you, and especially with Finley over the last 12 months, he's become a lot closer with Harrison.
Yeah.
Yeah, you and
And
Harrison have bonded.
They bonded well on it, and obviously Harrison is at one end of the scale, and Finley's at the other, and Finley's kind of...
Going
But
that way.
stuff's been happening, he's become more and more like, oh my god, there is stuff happening. And stuff does seem to happen but then they do feed off one another as
Yeah,
well
they do.
sometimes. So,
Sometimes.
Now, Aubrey, have you thought of anything yet?
I have thought of something, but it hasn't happened to me. It's more like happened to my friend Sophia. That's pretty shocked me. So they one point went to this haunted, where they went to this graveyard as their granddad's idea.
Do you blaming the granddad?
Come on, kids, let's go for a day out.
So her cousin and her, because her cousin believes in the paranormal as well. So they went out and they brought this K2 and the torch, and they was asking, is there any spirits here? The torch did turn off, but they didn't really. They thought it was like, you know, how the ground's really uneven. So they was like, if you could copy this, and they whistled. So on their way back, it was like very dead at night, and they heard a whistle, but then they was like, is it something else? So they got home, and they still wanted to talk, so they were talking with their haunted dolls. And they were asking questions, and they said, if you could copy this, could you bang on the table? And they banged on the table. A few minutes later, it was the exact copy of banging on the table, and no one was near the table at the time. So they were all like, and it actually made them scream. And also a granddad, who's a very skeptic, said, no, I can't explain that.
That's
good.
Well, that's good then when you get a skeptic like Michael who can't explain things.
yeah, who ruins stuff?
It's good.
Who
Well, it's
ruins
not
stuff.
really. It's nice to have the logic side as well.
Yeah.
I've always said that because otherwise everything's paranormal.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If you can get somebody who can turn around and say, "Oh no, it was like Finley's just said about the." Now he's been studying on the computers. He understands how torches can be manipulated in a way.
Yeah.
So it's good that the learning that process as well as not thinking everything's paranormal. So it's nice to to hear Finley say that.
Yeah, so a really good example on how it's helped me with trying to understand stuff is we connected with a gentleman called Andy Guy.
He makes some really good
And he
kit.
makes really good kit, and he's made kit based off his experiences. So he's got like vibration monitoring stuff put on the table.
Yeah, we'll get it out when we go.
And he's
Okay.
got like
Investigation.
temperature change, air pressure change devices. But I was talking to him about spirit boxes, and I asked him, and on an event, I asked, somebody got their spirit box out, and I said,
Not one of ours.
not one of ours.
It was when we were at a conference.
We were at a conference, and an adult got her spirit box out that she paid a nice pretty penny for.
£400.
And I asked the question, how does that work? And she couldn't answer how it works. It just throws words out, and the meaning of the words is what you take of it. But she didn't understand how it works. Now, I asked this gentleman, Andy Guy, and he told me exactly how they worked.
And now you ruin it for
And
everyone.
now I ruin it for everyone.
Well, it's not ruining it. It's
Because
Understand.
it's
yes, exactly.
understanding.
That's right, Maria.
And it's like it's done off different atmosphere stuff that creates a word. I don't want to ruin it for everybody.
No, but you might as well, you're already halfway there.
Yeah. It creates a word from that algorithm, and there'll be a list of words underneath that particular thing. And if it's already said the first word, it'll move on to the second word.
Yeah.
And I always say, how would a spirit know how to make that box say that word? Because it's got to do something that creates a particular change that will make that word come up. A spirit will never know that.
No, and the technology is different now than when that spirit was around.
Yeah, you're not going to have a Victorian ghost knowing how to work algorithms.
If I drop the pressure by 0.15 bar, I know my word is number 15 in that list, so I've got to work my way through that. I did ruin it for that woman.
£400
So she's not speaking to you anymore.
Well, it was another little conference that we've been to, which is, as you say, in 2 years since we've been, the fact that we've been being invited to lots of different places.
Well, that's a credit, isn't it? That you're being invited. It's nice to know that people trust you enough to invite you.
Yeah.
We've never been invited, have we?
You do for now.
So what?
You do for now until I've ruined it for too many people.
Well,
It's
it's not like what it is that's your opinion.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you've got a right to put your opinion out there.
Absolutely.
And I mean, we very rarely use any kind of equipment now. When we're doing it for the radio, we do have the spirit talker, because otherwise you'd be standing there in silence.
Yeah.
And what people want is they want to hear things. So you put the spirit talker on, and it's down to the people who are listening to whether they want to believe it or not. And I've always said that you can't.
Yeah.
I don't force it on them. It's there. We use it.
Yeah.
But it's for the radio. We experiment with it, don't we? I take the Wi-Fi off.
We take
everything off.
we take everything off like that. So
as you probably think the same as me. There is, if you've got your phone on, you've got a spirit talker on, you've got your Wi-Fi on. GPS. Oh, they're in the graveyard. Let's put a load of names up.
Yeah.
Oh, they're in the war bunker. Oh, let's put some more things up.
See,
But if
we
you've got the
have had a
Wi-Fi off
lot.
and everything off, we've had some interesting things
Very
on
interesting things, yeah.
it. But to me, it's still it's electronic, and I always think, how can someone even from the 1970s know how to use your mobile phone?
Yeah.
See,
How difficult is a mobile phone to use these days?
See, you talk about like experiences, and I'm kind of pinching Aubrey's here, but this time 12 months ago we went to Scotland.
Oh, yeah.
Are you pinching Aubrey's story?
Well, no, she doesn't like to talk about the story. So
Okay.
we had separate rooms, and
Yes, the way you say
Don't want
it.
me to say
We'll
it.
tell you.
We'll tell you.
We'll tell you.
Okay.
Okay.
Alright, yeah.
Yeah.
But she had an experience that was
Unnerved her greatly.
unnerved her in a way that she wouldn't sleep in that room.
Well, I'll tell you a story about Scotland. And I was 19, so it was only about 10 years ago.
Oh,
Oh, I wish. And this would be weird if it was the same place, but I don't think it will be. I won't say where it was, because the hotel's still there.
Well, don't they
whether
use
they want
those
the story.
things there?
No, do you know what? I can tell the story
Yeah,
because
don't
it was
see
my
that.
experience, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
We went to a
it.
place called Kames, Kames.
Yeah.
And it was the Kames Hotel we were staying at. I'd gone out sea fishing, we'd gone up there sea fishing. So and I know I was only 19 because we went with a few people. And we all had our rooms, and they put me in this room upstairs. I can't remember the name of the room or anything like that. And I said, I don't want to stay in that room. There's something about that. Now I didn't do the paranormal then, and I didn't want to stay in the room. I said, I don't feel right in that room. I don't want to be in the room. And straight away, and I remember the name of the woman as well, called Norma. I won't mention the surname because I still remember her. And she went, we'll put you in a different room. She put me in a different room. And we were there for 2 nights. And you know the way you go down in the bar after you've been sea fishing, you come in, you're just having a... And she was saying, why didn't you want to stay in that room? I said, I don't know, I just didn't feel right in it. I remember it as clear as today. And she said, I'm going to tell you a little thing about that room now. Years ago, they were renovating. And they found when they knocked the wall down, they were making the room big. You know the way sometimes you got like an alcove?
Yeah.
And it was in the corner, so they decided to knock a hole in it to see if there, so they took the wall out, so it was a square instead of like indented or whatever it was. And they found a skeleton of a child.
Oh gosh.
And the child was sealed within the wall. Now, whether we don't know the story, whether the child fell asleep in there or whether we picked up, who knows? I don't think we'll ever know. And he said, that's the room they found the child in. And that's the room they say the child still plays around in and things like that. And I just walked in and went, I don't want to stay in this room, there's something not right about it.
No.
Now, I remember that like as if it was in there today. Years later, where my mum lived in Huyton, a fella down the bottom of the road, I was talking to him, and he went, oh, we've just come back from Kames. And I said, Kames? I said, I stayed in a hotel up there, Kames Hotel. He said, yeah. He said, so did I. He said, that's the same hotel we all stayed in. And he said, I was told about the room. And I said, what room? He said, there's a room near the top of the building. And they were renovating and they found the child, the bones of a child, when they were taking the wall out. And people don't like going in that room or staying in that room. And I'm going, oh my God. But I remember now, he didn't tell me the name of the hotel. And I went, was it Kames Hotel you were staying in? He went, yeah. And when he told me the story, I went, I know exactly what you're talking about. And it was exactly the same story. And I remember going into that room going, no, I'm not staying in there.
Oh my goodness.
But the question is now, would you go back to that hotel and stay in the...
Yeah.
Definitely.
Yeah. do you know why, Finley? Because Marie be with me. Yeah.
No,
Like-
but by yourself though.
I'd have to think about.
It's like us with Ruthin Castle, room 222,
Yeah.
which we went for my birthday and Finley's birthday. Not last year, a joint thing. So, Ruthin Castle in Wales is notorious for being haunted. A certain company go there. We've been with said company on an event. Nothing happened whatsoever. But we did have an experience in the grounds, but
No, going back way further,
way further.
we had an experience in that room when we went away before kids.
I remember you telling me about
Oh
this.
my God, I forgot about that. Oh, right, Ruthin Castle. Michael and I, it was before we got married, so many years ago, we went to Ruthin Castle in Wales. It was just like a little bit of a getaway, and we were supposed to stay there for 2 nights. Oh, we left after the first night because we were in the room. I woke up in the early hours of the morning, went to the bathroom, came and got back in bed, and I heard like a manic cackle, like like a proper full-on cackle, and I thought, what the heck is that? Who's There's nobody outside. The television was on in the background, but it was like a man on the television. There's no way. And it was in the room. And then I'm going, Michael. He's like, and then the next thing, the bag, you know, like those luggage things that they have where you put your bag.
Oh, yes.
Our bag catapulted off it.
Oh, God.
So then I woke him up and I'm like, Michael, there is something in the room. I'm not having any of this. So we were like, for the rest of the night. Next morning we were like, oh, but I know we're supposed to stay 2 nights, but we're only staying 1 night because, you know, family emergency. And and then we went back with said company and did an adult event there, and absolutely nothing happened. But we'd always told the kid, apart from, I'll let you tell the story of the grounds in a minute. Yeah. So we were telling the kids about it, and we were like, oh, well, why don't we go there? Stay in room 222, which is supposedly the most haunted place in the building. Yeah, right. Oh my gosh, how wrong were we? Oh my goodness. It started within a few minutes of us getting in the room.
Oh, that's good.
We're in there. Michael and Finley had gone down to the car. And Aubrey and I are in there, and we heard on the door. I thought it was these two who'd forgotten the key. Went and opened it. Not a soul there. And then we came back in, and then it happened again, but this time you heard like a giggle and you heard footsteps running off. And we were like, what the chuff is this?
So you've got to put in context, this room is not with the rest of the hotel.
Oh, okay.
So the only way how you access this room is up a separate staircase there, and then on this like little landing area there is a way you can get through to the main hotel, but there's a big door that you can hear swing, and it's where the staff go through to another bit. But you can hear them. There's floorboards missing and everything on this other bit.
So it all creaks.
So there's no way you could hear us coming up to the room, and you can hear somebody walking past, so you would know. But it's not like anybody can really get to this point without a guest. You would hear them coming up the stairs underneath the room.
But there's running, you can hear footsteps running off. So we were like, okay, awesome. So we get in the room and we decide, right, we're going to get ready to go into the little village. We'll put some kits out while we're getting ready. And we put a cat ball on a side table. And we saw it, didn't we?
Yeah.
Go whoosh, off. Like, not roll gently, like...
How did it go, Gemma?
So we were like, right, okay, yeah. Then we went off, we had a meal, we came back, and then we started settling in for the night. Aubrey, God bless her, she put my noise cancelling earphones on, her eye mask, and she went straight to sleep.
I always struggle about this stuff.
This is like when we were at the cottage.
Oh, right.
Don't even talk to me about that cottage. Somebody nicked my bed that night.
No, but the fact that
We have to go sleep, didn't we, Aubrey?
Yeah, that's what I mean. That was Aubrey.
What the nap?
Yeah. So then I'm taking my makeup off in the mirror in this room. He's a sleepwalker.
Right.
Have you ever seen the film The Ring when she calls out?
Yeah.
He did that off the bottom of his car. And he appeared behind me, and I looked at him and I went, "You all right, son?" And he's just staring at me like this.
I've gone to the bathroom.
And I'm like, Michael.
I don't remember that.
So he gets back in bed. So I'm like, oh my goodness. And then where the room is, it's like there's an attic above it empty, and there's a room below it which is empty.
It's an old caretaker's
thing.
part of the...
So Michael and I were lying there in bed, and you could hear furniture being dragged across above you.
And this was empty, wasn't it?
The only way you can get up the stairs is actually from inside our room.
Oh, God.
And it was like, you know when you like drag a chair across the front and you can hear it? It was like that. And then that started happening quite a bit. We'd left some kit out and things started going off, and I was like, no, I can't have that. So we switched it off. And bottom line is, anyway, then something grabbed my feet with really cold hands.
Michael.
And anyway, we're going back in November for her birthday.
Happy birthday for that one.
We're going to make sure she stays awake till at least past 8 o'clock this time.
Yeah.
If I get too freaked out, can I come up to Liverpool and spend the night in Merseyside?
What's it worth, Marie? You can, but we're locking your door because I've just heard you sleepwalk.
I promise I won't sleepwalk.
Sorry?
I won't sleepwalk.
I'll take you to the bed.
Anyway.
Disclaimer, we don't allow that on anything.
It wasn't an invest. Child minding.
So what's Junior Paranormal, what's been the big thing for them that you always come back and say, do you remember?
Can I just say, we've only got a few minutes left now, so...
Okay.
So what Junior Paranormal, I always talk about, do you remember this time? Is there something like that you talk about?
Ricking Castle,
Yeah.
for me. What's you?
Do we talk about?
Just very...
As a good memory.
I don't know, it's just this building.
Champness Hall.
Every conversation we have with them comes back to here.
Yeah.
Brilliant.
It's funny, isn't it? Because ours is Mill Street.
Yeah, because we're in that so many times, like you're here, your key holders that are here as well.
What about you?
What about Aubrey?
What was the question?
What's like the one thing that we keep coming back to where it's like, do you remember that?
Like with like experiences with like spirits, like Mary,
Our
our doll.
Mary. Yeah, Mary
Brilliant.
Champness Hall.
I'm going to throw it. It's not it was on an event. That guy at Healedale.
Oh, the weird man that came out of the woods. We had a strange man that came out of the woods.
We'll tell you what.
In without a backpack and came out with a backpack.
Oh.
No one knows
I
where
forgot
they
about
came
that.
from
No,
and where he got the bag from.
no
but-
touch and no nothing, no
Yeah.
light.
Oh, well, that's creepy, isn't it?
Yeah.
How does he see? He's had a lot of carrots.
And on that note, we've come to the actual end of the show, and I could carry on this for another hour dead easily.
Yeah, we could.
But I think we're doing an investigation for next
we
week's,
can do.
So we're doing a little investigation for next week's show. So we've had a fantastic chat with Finley.
What was that? Did you
I
hear
heard that, yeah.
Right, let's end the show and then.
Okay,
That was out
Dad.
there.
Yeah. So, from Access Paranormal, from Junior Paranormal Events, thank you so much again.
Finley's just frightened the life out today. Finding out
And on
what
that note, we will finish the show. And on that note, can I just say a big thank you to Junior Paranormal Events, Finley, Aubrey, Michael, and Gemma. We can't wait to have you on. We can't wait to get you on the show again soon.
Anytime.
And we'll be back again
If
next
there
week.
is this.
With a paranormal investigation with Junior Paranormal. We'll see you then. Good night.
Good night.
Bye.